All right, June 27th, or no, July. It's July 27th. July, my bad. Um, it's Tuesday. It is 1:30 in the afternoon. The weather is a very mild, uh, 90 degrees right now, which is actually super nice compared to what we've had lately. It's been smoky as shit here. Like yesterday was actually disgusting. The amount of smoke we had. I was nauseous halfway through the day just from breathing it in. It was fucking terrible. It was really thick. There was like a point where I was driving around and I couldn't even fucking see this building that I was no more than I'd say 3 blocks away from. And it's like this huge 10-story building that I can, you know what I mean? It's like a giant building. Fucking smoke, man. I seriously feel like we should be able to sue California for for like having to deal with so much fucking smoke. Like, I don't know. I don't know who you sue either. I'm just being a bitch about it, but I want I want reparations or something for the smoke. It's stealing too much of my time and like brain power. It's fucking annoying. But it's nice today. It was all windy yesterday, so it's been super nice today actually. And yeah, so far it's been a real good day. I'm here in the park right now, and there's like ever since fucking pandemic, there's just a shitload of fucking vans and RVs at the park all the goddamn time. And some of them are there for like weeks because I go running here and I'll come driving through here when I'm smoking cigs and stuff and like I don't know. They've just been here for too long. It's fucking annoying. And they leer at you. Like you'd be driving through the goddamn park to go find a parking spot or like do what, you don't have to even explain yourself, but do whatever the fuck you're going to do at the park. Smoke a little meth over at the gym or whatever. Fucking. And these people leer at you as you drive by, like you're driving down their street or some shit. And they fucking just sit there and scowl at you, like, what are you up to? And you know what I do? I leer right back at them. Because these are fucking trash people. Even if they're rich and out here with their RVs, it's like, bitch, you brought your whole fucking house down here. Like, to a park. Don't fucking look at me. Don't look down at me. Your goddamn microwave is in there, you take shits right here. Like, go fucking fuck yourself. I don't know. Don't like that. Don't leer at me. Don't leer at me. It's the park. It's everybody's park. Fuck. Got off work a little bit ago, and I was down at my job doing some landscaping, and, my fucking boss's son comes walking up to me, and he's like he played a concert at our bar for, Art Town last week, and so he was picking up his music equipment, and he walks up to me and just says, "What's up?" And says, "Good morning," and then he's like, "Are you excited for today?" And I was like 10 minutes away from being done with my work for the whole day, so I was just like, "What?" I thought maybe it had slipped my mind that I had to bartend later in the night or something. Um, or like that we had an event coming up. Basically, I was afraid that I had like forgotten that I had work later. And he's like, "Oh no, we're supposed to go racing, right?" And I was just like, "What are you talking about, dude?" And then he just said nothing to me and walked away. This guy's like hard to describe too. He's a really nice guy. He's my boss's son. He's fucking psychotically muscular for his size. He's probably like 5 inches shorter than me, but he must weigh at least 50 pounds more than me. He's huge. His like shoulders and lats and fucking biceps and shit. He seems like a real deal weightlifter guy. He's a super nice guy too. Like he definitely walks around the property like his parents own the place, but I mean that's like the way it is. So you kind of gotta swallow it when it comes around. Um, but he asked me if I'm ready to go racing, and I'm like, what? And then he just walks away and doesn't come back. And at that point, I was like, oh, I just got like he assumed I was like invited to something, and then while talking to me, realized that I hadn't been invited to it. And then he comes back like 5 minutes later, and he's like, hey, sorry about that. Um, it's it's Employee Appreciation Day here, and I don't know how nobody got in contact with you, but we're all gonna go get lunch at In-N-Out and then go racing at these like indoor go-karts that are on the other side of town. If you're free, like that'd be cool. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'll hit you up. Because at this point I'm like, no, dude, whatever it is, I don't want to go. This is so awkward. Like I wasn't invited, and which is fine. Like I was just at work, you know. I had no idea that I wasn't invited to something, and it wasn't a problem for me at all. And then you kind of like cannonballing yourself into the point where you have to guilt invite me because you told me that something was happening, but you also got to like disappear for a minute and ask for permission is like, that's just 5 steps into Awkwardville too far for me to go. So I don't know. I was like, yeah, I'll hit you up. I'll probably be back here to go with you. But and he doesn't know this, but I ate In-N-Out yesterday, and I spent fucking half an hour in that line, and I just don't want to go back to In-N-Out during lunchtime for like the rest of the year if I can handle it, you know. And also just like doing indoor race cars. That actually does sound hella fun, but like I don't know, I'm extremely competitive, especially when it comes to like a real competition, like racing. And I don't know, I get the vibe that my boss's son is like pretty competitive also, and he's a very alpha male personality, and I could just see it seems like a lose-lose situation for me where I either lose to this cocky rich dude who's like beat me, or I beat a dude who's gonna like be pissed that I beat him. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like lose-lose. Like I just don't even want to fucking do it. And also I wasn't invited, so it would just be super awkward if I won the race against everybody, but I don't, you know what I mean? Like I just would uh rather not fuck with any of that, to be honest. Fucking, but yeah, he was picking up his music equipment because he played this concert at our bar, which is a part of this thing they do for Art Town, which is just means that in the month of July, there's like a art event every night in the city of Reno that the public can go to. I used to like it a lot when I was a kid. I used to go to all of them. There would be like a bunch of concerts and like dance things and shit like that downtown in the park. But yeah, he played this concert. He actually did awesome too. It was cool to see him fucking play music. Because I had always heard he was a singer in his church or whatever, but he did a super good set. Like he did a couple soul songs and a couple like pop songs, like Beatles songs and shit like that. I think he played Sweet Caroline. That was kind of unfortunate. But other than that, it was pretty good. And then God, this concert was such a fucking hard pill to swallow though. Like watching him play wasn't hard at all. I remember thinking it was going to be totally cringy, watching him play, and then he just did great. And I was just sitting there like, holy shit, dude, you're fucking awesome. Like, this is a great show. But the band that was like the headliner band main event was let me light this cigarette up real quick. Was they were, I don't even know what the fuck they were called. They performed a sound bath, which is like a term I've been hearing a bunch lately and kind of like making fun of, even though I didn't really know what it was. But it turned out to be exactly what I thought it was and even dumber. And oh my God, it was so fucking awful. Like this concert, so I'm bartending this concert, right? And these fucking pack of like Burning Man people all walk up and they all have like little tables and shit like that because they're gonna sell stuff at this concert so that there's kind of like a bunch of little boutiques selling things for the people who come to the concert, and there was gonna be food trucks and stuff too. And but this lady walks up to me and she's like, "Hi, I'm Crystal. I'm a shaman." And like sticks her hand out to shake my hand, and I'm just like, dude, okay, okay, Crystal, hi. And I like shake her. I don't know if her name was Crystal. I can't fucking remember. That just sounds like the type of name she would have had. But I have to like meet this chick who's just clearly like a fucking vacation for life, festival hopper, like white chick with fucking Rufio clothes on and dreads and like crystals and just, ugh. Which is fine. They're fine people, but it's like you can't walk up to me and introduce yourself as a shaman. Like, that's just fucking ridiculous. That's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And then her whole thing is that her company is selling the kombucha and the elixirs that we have to put in some of the cocktails for the evening, which all these cocktails are fucking disgusting too. They have 7 cocktails for this event. 7 of them. And they all have like 10 ingredients in them, and they're all the ingredients are like rose water and edible flowers and like, uh, cardamom, turmeric extract elixir with rose hips in it, or, like shit like that. And it's just like all these cocktails fucking, they look pretty, but they all taste like shampoo, and they all take way too fucking long to make if you're a bartender and you know what it's like to make fucking drinks in a busy setting. But anyway, so we gotta make all these cocktails, and then this chick sits there and like tastes them all and like tells us how to make them and what's wrong or right with them, and then also tells us like fucking paragraphs of information that she wants us to relay to each customer as they buy them. Like, oh, this is the rejuvenating social elixir. So this one will really make you feel like, like when the tip of your dick is tingling, but you're not a real boner yet, and you're just like kind of sexual, it's just blah, blah, blah. It's just like fucking stuff you'd have to explain to people too that you couldn't even be sure you were correct about either. You'd just be like, oh, this is good for your immunity, I guess. Here's your cocktail. It's got 2 shots of vodka in it. Fucking, ugh, hard to swallow. Very hard to swallow. And then it also turns out this chick's in the band that's doing the sound bath thing, and fuck, I really wish I would have got the name of the band, because I would have just looked up to see if they had any recordings or anything and played it for you guys, because I'm not even gonna do it justice for how fucking boring and shitty this fucking band was. It was fucking awful. Awful. So first of all, hold on. Let's look up, I don't know if I should describe to you what I thought the sound bath was gonna be, or read to you what I read it actually is when I looked it up. But, I'm just gonna read it. Okay, so, let me find these pictures real quick. Okay, so I look up sound bath first, and there's no dictionary definition of it or Wikipedia page for it, which is a huge red flag because if you know anything about these fucking Trustafarian fucking burner rich kid hippies, which I don't even know if the rest of the country has, it might just be like a Nevada, California, West Coast thing, but they're fucking everywhere over here. And these kids are all fucking the laziest hucksters you're ever gonna meet ever. But anyway, big red flag to me that it had no Wikipedia page or anything already because it's just like, oh no, this is just like a new terminology we use for this shit now or something, fucking annoying. Anyway, so the nearest reference to it that has a real Wikipedia page, and I'm not saying Wikipedia is the end all be all of things, I'm just saying like if it's a thing, it probably has a Wikipedia page. So the closest thing you can see to it is audio therapy, and the definition of audio therapy in Wikipedia is audio therapy is the clinical use of recorded sound, music, or spoken words, or a combination of thereof, recorded on a physical medium such as a compact disc (parentheses CD) end parentheses, or a digital file, including those formatted as MP3s. Including those formatted as MP3s, which patients or participants play on a suitable device, to which they listen with intent to experience a subsequent physical, psychological, or social beneficial effect. So, audio therapy, that's the definition of audio therapy. And then I just wrote, what is a sound bath? And there was a couple things on the internet, but this was one that seemed like it was like kind of trying to sell you on it a little bit or have like a positive description of it instead of like maybe something jerky. It says, in general, a sound bath is a meditative experience where those in attendance are bathed in sound waves. These waves are produced by various sources, including healing instruments such as gongs, singing bowls, percussion, chimes, rattles, tuning forks, and even the human voice itself. So, so far, neither one of these descriptions has described what a sound bath is at all to me either, or like why it's different than listening to music or whatever. Like the first one saying that you do it with intention of feeling a certain way. It's like that's what fucking music is, dude. That's why literally everyone who puts on fucking music puts on music, you dumbass piece of shit. You don't get to fucking describe something with your goddamn squinty ass fucking airhead mentality because you just realized something and act like you discovered something either. Like this is already what music is. And also a sound bath is a totally dumbass way to describe boring concert. That's what this really is too. And I know it seems like I'm being really insensitive and there's probably like a huge spiritual aspect to this whole shit. Trust me, there's fucking not. Like, these people are total fucking hucksters. Like, each one of these people, when I met them, went completely mean girl on me as soon as I wasn't, like, balls deep, like, oh my god, like, so cool. I'm really excited to watch you play, like, the Tibetan singing bowl tonight. Like, yeah. Or, like, ooh, yeah, I can't wait to put this fucking turmeric oil in someone's cocktail and charge them $14. Like, oh, by the way, the cocktails are not even a part of the concert menu either. Like the people who go to this concert, they had to pay money and they get drink tickets and the tickets are only good for beer. So all these people are coming up looking at all these 10 cocktails and like, ooh, what is that? What is that? Can I get that with my drink ticket that I just paid, $30 to get in here? And we're like, no, these are $14, but you can get a fucking, Budweiser if you want. And so that was huckster move number one on these people for sure. Fucking, calling it sound bath and not just like this is our band, like that is the weakest move ever too. Because then you're like pulling the performance art move where it's like, well, if you don't get it, then you don't get it, or if you don't like it, you don't get it. And I don't know, it's just that classic like rich kid aha moment where they act like they fucking discovered it or like are inventing something new, but they're actually just fucking torpedoing into something that's existed forever and like trying to become the center of attention like as quickly as humanly possible. Fucking, I don't know. Fuck these fucking Last Boy kids. But anyways, so, oh, and also all their vendors and shit, they're all just selling like Native American jewelry and like pan flutes and, um, just, I don't know, fucking turquoise and shit like that. Hand painted fucking moon phase driftwood and shit like that. Fucking so basic and so stupid. Stupid. Fucking so boring too. So they start playing and the music is like barely music. It's got like, I don't know if you ever look up these tracks on YouTube, but they're like tracks that people do like homework to and shit like that. They're called type beat tracks. And it's just basically like a DJ fucking around on a really simple drum beat playing like really casual shit like piano and stuff like that. It's basically sexy hotel lobby music. Honestly, it's like really chill, doesn't really go anywhere, isn't dangerous, very, very slow tempo, very like unabrasive on the ears. And so they have like a beat like that rolling, and then they have two drummers, a fucking person playing like wind chimes and keyboards, but the keyboards is just like Zor. And I feel like I'm almost making that sound too cool, and I'm not saying that was cool. I'm just like that sounded cooler than the shit the dude was playing on the fucking keyboard. And then there's like people playing like the bowls full of water where you spin the handle around and it also goes. They're just basically creating a one note soft feedback between all of them, and all the fucking people at the concert are slowly getting up and leaving because everyone's just like, is this the music, or is this ever going to start, or is this what I paid for? So everyone just starts getting up and ordering drinks and like talking during the middle of it, which everyone starts getting kind of like all the hippie people around like, shh, this is Sound Bath. This is Sound Bath. Shh. It's just like, I don't know. You should never have to pay a fucking shaman $30 to like buy a pan flute they bought while they were on vacation and fucking 14 more dollars to drink their elixir that doesn't even have any alcohol in it, and then fucking watch them spin a stick around in a goddamn bowl. That's just fucking ridiculous. So what's going on is just like, and it just goes on like that, and then there's like light piano tracks and like weird shit. And it's all really quiet too. Like you can't really hear it. It's the volume isn't turned up very loud on anything, which is kind of probably for the better. But then out of fucking nowhere, just one of the girls will come up on the mic and like, and like move the microphone away from her voice and bring it back like, oh my god, I was literally laughing and had to like go into the back to do dishes at one point because I could tell my fucking boss's son was seeing me fucking laugh at these people, and I was just didn't want to be disrespectful. But it was fucking some of the fucking most horrendous shit ever I've seen people try to like get other people to take seriously in a long time. And then it turned out I fucking knew one of the drummers. Like, he is the son of one of my favorite customers from when I used to make coffee. And this guy, the dad that I'm talking about right now, is the shit. He's a fucking self-made millionaire, fucking war hero. There's a painting of him in the CIA building because he is the only dude ever uh, to shoot a fucking plane out of the sky with a rifle from a helicopter. And he did that in Vietnam or maybe Korea. I can't fucking remember. But anywho, I love this dude's dad. He was like one of my favorite customers. He was super nice to me. He was like always interested in my fucking hobbies and shit like that. And he always gave me a bunch of shit. Like if I was sitting down or, he was just a cool, tough ass old man. But his fucking kids were all nightmares. They were all just like Burning Man, yoga retreat, fucking, just always wearing pajamas 24 fucking 7, but the pajamas cost more than a suit and shit like that. Like, they were just like world people, like we're just into like culture and stuff like that. And, the worst of all of his kids too was his son, who I remember having to meet after he came back from like Mexico one trip and he did ayahuasca and he was just like trying to explain to his extremely fucking logical dad like why ayahuasca was gonna save the world and all this shit and just like he's doing all this in the fucking llama print pajama pants and like a headband with fucking goggles on and shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, I don't understand how you can dress like that, like with the fucking goggles and the bandanas and the fucking just like, oh man, there's a hawk screech. Like, do you know how much power that creates every time? Like, dude, nobody takes you fucking seriously. Serious. Like, except for your other fucking get out of, like, all of you people are kids who the parents were just like, just get out. Get out of here. Go do something. Get out of my fucking living room. But yeah, just like it was exactly, I don't know. I couldn't have even made that up if I tried that this kid ended up being the drummer in this band because of course he was. This was like everything I felt about how that band and what the band was doing and the vibe they were trying to create and the way they were trying to reinvent fucking uh live music basically, but in like the laziest fucking way ever. It was like, of course you're this dude's fucking kid, man. You fucking spoiled brats. And that's like, I don't know. I think that's like an old saying too, is like, hard times create hard men create good times create soft men create bad times, or soft men create hard times. And I feel like the dad was totally like the hard man who came out of the hard times, but then he created the good times, and like now we're dealing with the soft man who's about to create the bad times. And I'm not saying it's just these people's fault. I don't know why. Just that whole fucking little saying popped into my head. I'm not even sure where that's from. But why is it always a guy like that or a gal like that? Like some fucking bored trust fund kid who is dressed up like they fucking in the set of Peter Pan, but they're the ones selling you like the new age philosophy every time. And it's like always something that can't be quantified by like any sort of scientific analysis, like Reiki and shit like that, or like crystal healing or fucking just all that shit. Like it's always sold to you by some fucking dipshit huckster who hasn't been told his whole fucking life. And I fucking hate people like that. Seriously. I fucking hate people like that. But I also don't really think I need to be bashing on them super hard either, because it's like they they believe their own shit to a certain, like you watch them walk around and like the things they say, and they are in this like weird fucking fake town where everything they say is like they have swallowed it completely. You know what I mean? Like they actually believe the shit they say. And I don't know. Maybe I just need to have a better attitude about it and have more fun with it instead of just talk shit. But those fucking people were driving me fucking nuts, dude. Sound bath. Sound bath. How about you take a fucking bath? Your house probably has fucking 6 bathrooms in it and you fucking haven't showered yet this week. What the fuck is up with that? And of course this concert is during Pride Month too, so you have to like swallow all these fucking rich kids bullshit about how inclusive they are and all this shit too. Ugh. It's just like watching corporations go all fucking gay for the stay of the month of July, you know? Like all of a sudden everyone's gay for a month. Fucking, I don't know. That's cool. I mean, it's not cool because it's like these corporations, first of all, don't give a shit about any of you, regardless of where you stick your dick or receive one. Fucking, they just, I don't know. Fucking, you don't see them fucking going all gay pride month in the countries that where they fucking hang gay people in public and shit like that for sure. So, and you don't see them saying shit about it either. They just, I don't know. That's weird to play both sides of the field like that as a corporation. I think that's fucking disgusting. And I feel like it's the same thing like the rich kids do is just like they're just like bad business people too. They're just on to like whatever the laziest fucking quick sell could be. And right now that's just usually whatever the hot topic is. And this month, that's Pride Month. And I actually fucking love Pride Month. I think Pride Month is dope. Like it's funny to watch a lot of people get all up in arms about it. Like, cause there is a couple of days you gotta drive through downtown and see like 100 pounds overweight fucking person in booty shorts and like fishnets walk past you and like blow you a kiss and shit like that. And it's like, well, maybe we're not super proud of everyone like that, but at the end of the day, Pride Month is tight here. There's usually a bunch of fucking food truck events and stuff like that, and then the actual gay pride festival is pretty fun. Fucking, I don't know. Some people get a little. I mean, it's Nevada, so you'll just have people who are just like, I can't believe these freaks out here. They're dressed. They're destroying the country and shit. And it's like, dude, bro, listen. First of all, it's just a group. So like, you got to imagine there were guys in the KKK who were like not stoked to have the fucking huge fat Kentucky fried pieces of shit that were part of the group. You know what I mean? They were probably like, man, I just wanted to be like a group of like buff young dudes who went around committing fucking homeland terrorism. Like I didn't want to have this fat piece of shit in my group too. And it's just like, that's probably the way everybody feels. So get over it. And the rainbow flag, that's a fucking dope flag. Like that's the top 3 coolest flags, I think, for sure. Is the rainbow flag, the classic like pirate flag, or what was that called? Jolly Roger, or whatever. The skull and crossbones one. That's the dopest flag. And then the checkerboard flag at the end of a race. So those are the fucking coolest flags. Period, blood. Man, I need to get like a finish line checkerboard flag. I think it'd be hella funny to go down to like a roundabout and just like get on the edge of the road and start waving that shit at people hella enthusiastically, like, last lap, man, yeah! And they'd all just think you were fucking crazy and probably honk at you or something. I'm not gonna do that. That's a bad idea. It'd be kind of funny though. If I was in a police chase, I think I'd take the cops to a roundabout for sure. Because, like, if you got the cops chasing you, they're probably gonna rough you up after they catch you, and they're gonna catch you. But I figure if you take them to a roundabout Like you might even be able to make eye contact with him for a second. And I feel like if you're both just like going around in circles, there's got to be at least one split second in his head where he laughs a little bit. You know what I mean? Like that would just be hella funny to fucking. You gotta smile. Like if the dude takes you into a roundabout and you have to go around it even just one time, you gotta fucking, you gotta, you gotta smile about that shit a little bit. And then maybe he won't beat the shit out of you so bad, you know. Or maybe he will. He'll consider that to be way more annoying than chase. Like maybe he wanted a fucking full boner, 120-mile-an-hour race down the freeway. But, but you gave him blue balls with the fucking roundabout. Eh, I don't know. Fucking I did see this video of this guy there was like, I don't know where it was. It looked like it was in Europe somewhere. Maybe like Barcelona or like, I don't know, somewhere where they got a lot of statues and shit. But it was like drone footage of this car that got stuck in a roundabout for like, I think it was like 12 minutes or something like that. They had to time lapse it so that it was only like a minute long. But they went around the fucking thing like 110 times. Oh my God. I'd lose my mind because it had like multiple lanes in it and they somehow I don't know why there would be an inside lane further than you would need. Like there's got to be the maximum amount of inside lanes. So, and that one can still get off. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's for passing or some shit. But this poor fucking car got stuck in there and just went around and round and round. Like when they get out, they just immediately park in an illegal parking spot, and the dude just like has to sit down on the ground because they're fucking so dizzy. This shit was hilarious. I kind of hate roundabouts, but I looked him up before I recorded this podcast because I wanted to talk a bunch of shit about him, and I couldn't really find anything interesting about them that wasn't the way my dumbass thought about them already, which was like, fuck roundabouts, dude. Take that shit back to jolly old England and get it the fuck out of my street. Like, I don't need to think that much while I'm driving down a straight road. And that's really my problem with them is they just require a little too much mental energy. You just have to think for a split second and it pisses me off. So I decide that they suck and they don't work. But I've never actually had a bad experience with a roundabout. I feel like, okay, here's what maybe I do think roundabouts are bad. Because I feel like if you're waiting to turn into a roundabout, but the entrance before yours is really busy and there's just like cars dumping in because that's like the freeway exit or something, and you're just stuck there waiting, I feel like that's unfair to you. Whereas the street signal system, at least eventually you would get your fair chance. Maybe that's why I don't like roundabouts. I do remember thinking I had a reason why I didn't like them, but I can't really, I'm not sure if that's really what it is. Just fuck them. Fuck them. That's why. This is a good Yes song though, for sure. What am I doing? Okay. Oh my God. We're already at like 40 minutes here. I gotta get out of this parking spot because pretty sure this guy in the camper next to me is about to fucking defend his front yard after listening to me sing that song twice. So I gotta get out of here. I've been parked at the park. I'm gonna move on. I haven't even started the fucking story I was gonna tell on this one. Alright, so I guess I'm just gonna start it. Cause I'm fucking Running out of time. I'm going to tell the story of when I was super fucked up on cold medicine and my ex-girlfriend broke into my house. So, I was dating this girl for a while, and she was older than me, and she was super fine, and we got along pretty well. But at the end of, I think we dated for about 8 or 9 months. I I broke up with her, and that was just because she was a little too confrontational for me. She always had a problem with something. She was really negative, and I know that's exactly how I am too. But it's just like you can only have so much of that in one room, you know. And yeah, it was just too much for me, and I don't know. So I broke up with her, and I thought it was like a pretty adult breakup, where it was like there was some crying involved, but it was like there was no screaming or anything, and we agreed to like keep in touch and I don't know, be cool. Excuse me. But yeah, a couple weeks later, I met this other girl that I was really attracted to, and she was really forward and flirty with me, so we ended up hanging out like right away. And about a month into me and this girl hanging out, um, I had ignored two or three of her phone calls, but they were because they were like threatening texts and shit before she was calling me, just like, oh, so you're already hanging out with somebody? I thought we were going to give each other time. And like, well, like, I don't know, just weirdly making her healing process time, uh, have a lot to do with what I was doing too. And like, I understand that, but at the same time, it's like, we were two different people and we were totally separated. And I'm sorry if that hurts you to see that, but you also don't need to like stalk around and see it as more than you need to. So I had ignored her phone calls a couple times, and like she had given me this one phone call where she left a message and said she wanted everything back, basically, that she ever gave me. And she did used to give me things a lot. Like she gave me like headphones and clothes, and I want to say she bought me a pair of shoes one time, and just like she would buy me things all the time. She was really, really into that. And I was blowing her off, and fucking, I had a cold. This is like the middle of summer. And I don't know why, but whenever I get really sick, it's always in the middle of summer too. And I got super sick to the point where I was, had asked the girl that I was seeing at, the new girl that I was seeing at the time, I asked her to like come over and like bring me some medicine and shit. And she brought me over some, I don't remember if it was Sudafed or Benadryl or whatever, but it was like some sort of fucking antihistamine type of shit, and it was the drowsy version, like the type that puts you to bed. And so I took a whole bunch of that, and uh, my girlfriend, my like new girlfriend at the time, is she's hanging out in my bed with me. We're like watching TV and stuff, and I fell asleep. And I don't know how long went by. It could have been hours. But she wakes me up and she's just like, somebody is smashing all the shit in the front of your house and screaming and banging on the door. And like when I woke up, I don't know, I felt like it was like a dream. I was so fucked up on fucking cold medicine and I was really stoned and I just I don't know, I was kind of like just in a fog and I went and looked out the window and it was totally my ex-girlfriend and she's like smashing shit and she saw me looking at her. And so she starts like banging on the window and she breaks the window. Or no, she didn't break the window. She's like banging on the door and I open the door and she's like, I want my fucking I think she wanted this vest back that was like something, I think it was her dad's and she had given it to me. And so I like went and found, I closed the door back up, locked the door, and she's like banging on the door. I went and found the vest, brought it back and just like threw it out the door and closed the door again. She's just like, fuck you, you need to fucking talk to me. And she's like the type of person that's convinced she's a total badass and nobody tells her no. She also seemed like she had been up all night on a bender, probably doing a bunch of blow and fucking taking shots of tequila and shit and probably confiding in somebody who was like revving her up. You know, I don't know. It just seemed like she was totally on one and it seemed like she hadn't been to bed in a while or was like really strung out. And she just starts breaking my fucking all the windows in the front of the house. She breaks the front door, which has like a big window in it. She breaks the glass in the front door. Fucking as she's breaking all the windows and like reaching in the house, screaming at me, she like takes a huge chunk of broken glass and just like throws it at me. Fucking, her hands are all super bloody because she like literally punched through the part of the broken glass after she got it broken and like reached in and opened the door from the other side. And then once she got inside, like all hell broke loose. Like she didn't even know that my girlfriend was in the house at the time either. But I like looked over and my girlfriend like ran into the bathroom and she like a snarling beast style was like, where is she? And just starts like fucking rampaging through my house. She fucking goes on absolute destruction rampage. Like she smashes my laptop on the ground. She smashes my iPod. She fucking goes out to the living room and smashes my roommate's laptop and my roommate's fucking TV. She smashes the coffee table and like the nightstands and shit. She's still picking shit up and like throwing it at me all the time too, like throwing like coffee mugs and like potted plants and broken glass at me and fucking, it was an absolute nightmare. I'm so fucked up on Benadryl too that it's like I'm moving kind of like in slow motion and it also doesn't really seem to hurt or anything that's happening to me hurting. And she comes up and starts fucking scratching at my face and punching me in the face, like just ripping at my arms with her fingernails and shit. And I remember like shoving her away and she tripped and fell and then she like totally lost it because at that point she's like, oh hell no you didn't, and fucking starts ripping through my roommate's room at one point, starts going through my closet. I don't even know what to do at this point either because I can't like, you can't knock a chick out and fucking, I'm so fucking fucked up on cold medicine that I just didn't know what to do. I'm just kind of like standing there taking it for the most part. And I'm just like, what do you need? I'm like screaming with her, like, what do you need to make this better right now? What needs to happen for this to stop? And she's like, I'll never forget. She like looked at me with the fucking craziest look in her eye ever and was like, I want to ruin everything in your life. And then just goes back to smashing all my shit and is like looking for my girlfriend who like snuck out through the back door. She called the cops while like after she got out the back door. And fucking my ex-girlfriend's still attacking me, like hitting me and shit. She's calling me a faggot and like just like a bunch of crazy insults too that are just like you can just tell that she's beyond angry, like belligerently angry. And and I eventually just walk outside to the front yard because I'm like, I don't know what to do right now. Like she's just gonna keep smashing things. And as I'm walking out to the front, there's like a cop pulling up and he takes a look at me and gets like on full blown gun out red alert because I walk out and I didn't realize this yet, but I'm totally covered in blood, and it's my ex girlfriend's blood from when she cut her hand open and then she had hit me and scratched at me a bunch. Like I just ended up being covered in her blood. And so he pulls a gun out at me, fucking makes me get on the ground. He puts handcuffs on me and shit. And I'm just like, I'm trying to tell him to like go in the house and deal with the chick. And he's just like, he's not listening to me really because he's trying to just take care of what he sees. I kind of understand where he was at for sure. And, and then my ex-girlfriend just walks out right in front of him and just keeps walking. And I was like, you need to stop her right now. Like, she just broke everything in my fucking house. And, he like runs her down and he catches up with her and they end up getting into like, she fights him. Like, no joke, just straight up tries to fight him once she realizes that she's getting detained too. And he has to like, kind of like slam her on the ground at one point to like get handcuffs on her and shit. And I don't know, it was hard to watch. Like nobody wants to watch a fucking cop slam a girl around, and then it's like really hard to watch a cop slam somebody that you used to care a lot about down on the ground. And then you also know that she's like being fucking psycho because she likes you. I don't know. It just felt terrible sitting there watching that. And and she's fucking screaming. He finally gets handcuffs on her, comes over to me. He asks me my story. My girlfriend at the time, like my new girlfriend at the time, she comes around the corner finally and tells the cop the whole story from her point of view. He unhandcuffs me. Three more cops show up. They all start walking around my house, fucking looking at everything and taking pictures of everything, which sucked hella bad too, because there wasn't broken glass in every room in the house. But after they walked through everything and then walked through everything else, like there was broken glass everywhere, it was just a pain in the ass. And there's blood everywhere, all over the house from her fucking cut open hand. And, I don't know, we get to the point where we're doing like, they arrest her and he asked me like what she's on. And I was like, dude, I have no fucking idea. I was asleep when this all started. And, we started doing like the police reports and all this shit. And this was like the one shady thing for sure is like the cop asked me to like change my police report so that it said that he just like detained her instead of me saying that he threw her down and shit. Because I did write down exactly what I saw. And he was like, "Oh, could you change that to like blah blah?" And I was just like, "Uh, no, dude." So that was kind of shady, but I mean, he wasn't in the wrong either. Like she was straight up fighting him. I don't know what he was fucking tripping on, but and this is like way before fucking defund the police, any of that shit. But yeah, I don't know. He was kind of hard to deal with, and then my landlord showed up, fucking while all the cops were there, and then my roommate showed up, and his brother was in town from fucking, or he had just come back from Iraq, which really sucked because he was supposed to stay with us. And our house is just like full of broken glass and blood and shit, and I'm just like, I'm sure this is like the last fucking thing this dude wants to be around, but it was fucking awful. It was super awful. And then my roommate ended up being a fucking class act A1 piece of shit cunt about the whole thing. Like, he got really mad at me because it all happened eventually. And I understand, like, why he was mad. Like, his computer was broken, like, a bunch of his things were broken, but they all got replaced. But I don't, he kind of tried to, like, big league me out of paying for his computer out of my pocket before it all got settled and shit, just because he needed one right away. And fucking, then he tried, when I told him I couldn't do that, he tried to like squeeze the rent out of me like 30 days early basically. And he was just gonna use, like I knew what he was gonna do with that money. He was gonna use that money get the computer, but it was just like, at the end of the day, it was like, dude, I don't have $700 laying around for you either way. You know what I mean? Like, I pay rent on rent day. And fucking him and I got into a little tiff about that. And then, like, a week later, I got an email from my landlord, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear you're moving out." Or no, that was a text. And so I text her back, but I included David in the conversation. Oh, I shouldn't have said his name. Anyway, I included my roommate in the conversation, and I was like, "Oh, am I being kicked out or something? I don't know why you're telling me that you're sorry that I'm moving out." And she's like, "Oh, I got the email from David telling me that it was your 2 weeks notice or your 30 days notice or whatever." And I was like, I didn't talk to David about that at all or write an email to you about that at all. And then he fucking blew up on me like, "I can't believe you threw me under the bus like that in front of our landlord." And I'm just like, dude, are you fucking joking? You just basically tried to kick me out of the house without ever even having to talk to me like a total fucking pussy. And I could go on for fucking hours about how fucking fucked up this kid is, but because he's just about as fucked up as I am. And I'm fucked up knows fucked up. But yeah, fucking him and I had a huge falling out because of that, and I ended up just moving out of the house anyways because I was just like, well, I don't want to live with you. Like, if you did something like that, I'm out. And by the way, I did everything to get you into that house. Like, he begged me to be the roommate in that house because he didn't make enough money to like qualify for the house, and he didn't have a stable enough job to like be the person on the lease either. So that was just like super aggravating to have this person treat me like they were the adult in the situation when really they're just like a fucking 5 foot tall fucking little man child. Anywho, fucking end up having to go to court for all that shit, get everything all sorted out. Um, Everybody got all their things paid for. I got a little like intimidated by her lawyer, and I should have asked for more things. Like, I ended up not getting my computer replaced because they made it seem like it was going to be hard for me um, to like get more than a specific amount of money. And I don't know. I just totally pussed out. I don't know anything about the legal system. And I was just in there all by myself, and that chick showed up with like two lawyers and like an assistant. I'm just sitting there with like the public defender person. Like, I just went with the no confrontation, safe bet thing. It was fucking. Now that I'm older, I really wish I hadn't done that because I fucking need a computer still to this day, and have never been able to like save up enough money to get another one yet. But anywho, fucking sure enough, like months later though, this ex-girlfriend, the fucking girl that broke into my house and everything, has called me a few times and just been like, I don't know, I think we were really good together, like, blah, blah, blah. And like, I've had to block her phone number. I've gotten a phone number or a phone call from just a completely random phone number from her before. Fucking, she tried to break into my bank account, my email account one time. Um, Fucking went to the bar once with my good friend who is also a lady, and they just almost ended up in a straight up fist fight. But they didn't like each other from the get go. But still, like, it's just been a nightmare ever since. I haven't seen her in a long time, but yeah, I don't know. It feels nice to like tell that whole story for the most part. That was an awful week. Getting the like windows replaced and like having them all boarded up for a little bit and like sweeping up all the glass and cleaning up all the blood. It was a fucking nightmare. And I do feel bad. I do really feel bad for my roommate having to come home to all that shit, but it wasn't like he was completely innocent in the situation. Like he was completely innocent, but it was like he kept in touch with that chick way too much too before, during, and after our whole breakup, and I just feel like he facilitated a lot of that rage. And then also like him trying to like shice me out of some money and then fucking like get me kicked out of the house, but without it being like you're kicked out, is just like, I don't know. I remember the last thing I said to him before I moved out, I was like, bro, you might think I was a bad roommate, and I kind of was, even though I'm the one who got this house for you and everything. But at the end of the day, you're a fucking terrible friend.